In the previous video, we began designing a basic title using the graphics titler in conjunction with the effect controls panel. Here we're going to continue designing the title, including adding some animation and other elements. So definitely watch the previous video to get up to speed with where we're at. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how these elements work together and how they can work separately. Let's say that we want each of these text layers to animate in from a different direction. So all I need to do is access the transform parameters. I'm going to twirl up source text, and here we are at transform. And this is a position parameter animation. So I'm going to play this. By about right here, I want Barron's to be in place. So I'm going to place a position keyframe here, and then I'm going to come back to the beginning. And I've already told Premiere Pro that I'm animating, so I don't have to physically add another keyframe. I can just change my values. I want this one to come from the top, and so that is a Y position. And we'll move that up just off screen. And I'm going to look at this. All right, I actually want it to come on faster. So I'm going to move this keyframe over. Okay, that's good. Now I want to make sure that I've lined this up, so I'm going to go to that keyframe. And now let's go to bakery and then we want to access this position parameter. Again, I'll click on the stopwatch and then come back to the beginning here. And we want this one to come in from the left. So that is an X position adjustment, and I'll move that off. And now with those keyframes lined up, this should be timed out correctly. Okay, and then one more for coffee shop. So I again want to make sure that I'm on that keyframe. And we're on coffee shop, twirl up source text, we're on transform, click on position. And we'll go back to the beginning and have this one come from the right. Okay, so all of these elements are working separately, but I also want to show you that because they are all part of the same graphic, they can also work together. So I'm going to come up to vector motion, and all of these are going to apply to the graphic at large. So let's say at this point, I want the entire thing to sort of disappear into the background. So I'm going to put a scale keyframe, and then I'm going to go to the very end of my clip, okay? And then we will move our scale down to 0. And you can see that everything shrinks together. All right, and now let's play. All right, I like that. Now, I do want to mention that while you have the ability to change your colors for your fill, stroke, background, and shadow, if you wanted to add a glow to it, that's not one of the available parameters. But if I go to Effects and then just type in Glow, the Alpha Glow will do that for you. So I'm going to just twirl this up and then drag this up to the topmost layer. And then I'm going to come to Start Color. And if I want sort of a golden glow here, I can change that. Now you can see that my text and my shape have a golden glow. I'll back that off to about 15 or so it's a little more subtle. And wherever this alpha glow is in the stack is going to affect everything below it. So right now it's affecting everything. If I bring it down here, it's only affecting the text and not the shape. And as you see, you start to lose layers as you move that down. So I want to have that all the way up at the top, and I'm happy with this. Well, actually, one thing I'm not too happy with is that I would like a little bit more visual separation from the text and the video background. So to do that, let's just add a background behind it. I'm going to go back over to my project panel, and I'll come over to my new item menu and choose color matte and OK. And I'm going to start with black, so I'll say OK. All right, and I'm going to put that in my 12.2 bin. And I'm going to bring up my title to V3. I'm going to bring my color matte over to V2 and trim that back. And so right now we have a totally black background, but if I select it and then come to opacity and then bring that down, I don't want a keyframe opacity, so I'm going to toggle off my stopwatch. But I bring this down, and if I go all the way down, obviously it's transparent, but I'm thinking somewhere between 40 and 50. And let's play that and see if we have better visual separation. Okay, pretty good. I think I'm going to just bump it up a little bit more to give us a little more contrast. Okay, now this instance of this title is only in this sequence. you'll notice that in the project panel, we do not have any title master clip. So if you want to use this again, perhaps as a template for another title going forward, then you're going to have to upgrade this title to a master graphic. So you just select the title and then come up to Graphics and then Upgrade to Master Graphic. All right, and so here you see is my master graphic. However, if I edited this, it would edit this. These are one and the same. So what I would recommend that you do is to duplicate this going forward. So I'll duplicate, and I'm just going to call this Baron's template. And now if I drag this over, and if I change anything about this, I'll do something very simple like delete my shape, okay? So I've edited this one, but then this one remains untouched, all right? And that only happened because I first duplicated it. Okay, so that's a bit about animating and finishing your titles in the Effect Controls panel. Now we'll take a look at how to work with the graphics titler in the Essential Graphics window.